What's good, YouTube? It's E-Money and we back again with another tutorial, and this is going to be my rhythm shooting tutorial for you guys. I got a bunch of different tips here to help you guys to be more consistent with it or to just get started with it. I'm going to show you how to do a bunch of different shots and even some techniques that I tried along the way to help make my rhythm shooting more efficient. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so what is rhythm shooting? Rhythm shooting is basically the new shot mechanic that 2K has implemented this year to kind of give you guys a differentiation from having to just use the square all the time. And basically with rhythm shooting, it's involving the right stick, and what you're going to do is pull down on the right stick, and then you're going to go up and you're going to match the tempo of the player that you're using. So here with Jason Tatum, we're just going to pull down on the right stick and go up at pretty much an even speed. And this allows us to go ahead and make that shot there with Tatum, since his shot is pretty decently normal speed. So now let's take a look at some of the settings that you may want to have in regards to the rhythm shooting. One, I always recommend playing on Hall of Fame difficulty. Some people don't, but I like to say if you can get used to things on the hardest difficulty, then there's nothing else that you have to adjust to. Now, me personally, I am using high risk, high reward. If you are not an advanced player, please do not use this yet. You can try some of the lower ones like low risk or normal risk, but for me, I like to try the highest difficulty, like I said, because then you don't have to adjust anything. And currently right now with my shot timing, I'm using set point, but I have gone back and forth with push. It's basically whatever you prefer. So don't go off of anything that you see anybody else doing and hoping that you're going to get the same results. You want to go and practice and figure out which cue is good for you and what you're more comfortable with, and that is going to give you the best results possible that only you can get. Now in 2K24, I did do a shooting video in which I covered the different shot profiles, and here I'm going to run through them again. With jump release, the indicator is when your feet leave the ground. As soon as you see the feet lift from the court, that is when you know you have to let go of that stick in order to go ahead and green your shot. The next one that you have up is set point. Now with set point, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's obviously when the player's arms are set. So basically you want to release it. Once you usually see the arms fold like this, that is the cue to let go for set point. The next one that you have after set point is push, and this is pretty much the main standard or popular one that a lot of people like to use. With push release, it's a little bit after set point. It's right when you see the wrist start to flick and right before the player releases the ball out of his hands. That is when you want to let go of the stick to go ahead and get your green release with push. And then finally, you have the release visual cue. That one here is pretty self-explanatory as well. It is right when the player is getting ready to release the ball. That is when you want to let go of the right stick or match the tempo of your shot in order to green it. Now, the next thing you obviously want to go over is knowing what the rhythm of the shot is of that player that you're using. Here with Damian Lillard, he has a very quick shot. So when you want to go up with the right stick, you're going to pretty much flick it very fast because Damian Lillard lets go of his shot pretty quickly. And this for my team or in Play Now Online players, you need to kind of practice with different teams. You're not going to really be able to go into a game and not know any of your guys' shots and just hope to green everything off of just the strength of your visual cue. Because obviously rhythm shooting is not just accounting for the cue, it is also accounting for the tempo. Now, in the same way that the quick releases will require quick flicks, slow releases will require slower flicks. As you see here with Westbrook as an example, he has a slower release point there as far as his tempo, so we have to make sure that we match that tempo accordingly and go slow with the right stick. It is going to take some adjusting too in terms of using different players, so that's why you most likely will want to practice with them just so you can kind of get a feel for everybody's tempo. Now, don't get too caught up with the tempo talk and then forget about the shot cue. You need to know your shot cue, and it is very, very important. Why? Because you can have a set point as far as your visual cue, and if you're off by a little bit, you'll also know, because 2K now has an indicator of when the ball rims in instead of going in all net, that you didn't make the shot cue as perfectly as you could, and that can also affect the tempo of a shot. So for some of you that may say, well, man, it feels like I released the tempo at the same speed as I did in the previous shot, but I missed it. Sometimes if you're not exactly on point of where your shot cue is, it will make the tempo a tiny bit different. So just do your best in matching your shot cue as perfect as possible. But here's a technique that you can try to help yourself as far as separating the cue from the tempo. What I like to do is pull down on the right stick, but you want to basically let it hit the middle first and then go back up with the tempo. Now this may take some adjusting because you may not even actually register the tempo part of the release. It may just look like you just held the stick down too long and the game didn't register. So you need to practice it. But it's something that can help you with quick shots and slow shots. Like I said, you're pulling it down with the right stick and then you're going to briefly hit the middle here again and then go right back up as you see here with Buddy Hield. And it helps you, like I said, just separate it. It won't seem so difficult there to match both of them. So help yourself with that technique and make the process a little bit easier. But now that you got the basic understanding of the rhythm shooting and different things you could try, let's look at the different types of shots you could shoot. And the first ones we're going to look at are the deep range shots. So for here, we're going to use as an example with Luka. His regular rhythm shot is always going to be a slower flick because Luka doesn't really shoot the ball at a very quick pace. He's pretty much at his own speed, which is a pretty slow speed. So I just want you guys to get an understanding of how slow he usually will flick the stick here to make sure you green the tempo with him. And with the badges that you want to try to have for somebody that's going to be shooting deep range shots will most likely be the limitless range badge. And for my estimation, gold is pretty much the decent standard to have to hit these pretty consistently or efficiently. And now, if you look in comparison to his regular shot, you're going to need to do quicker flicks as far as your deep range ones. From all the testing that I've tried to do here, the deep range shots require quicker flicks. So you see I'm doing it a lot faster than I did with his regular shot. And make sure you pay attention to that cue, because cue is also very important because there is a bigger penalty the farther you shoot out. But as you see, it was on high risk and Hall of Fame, so it's obviously pretty legit. The next shots that we want to cover are the go-to shots. These are the shots here that 2K has implemented this year, which are like the player's signature type of shot to go to. So we're going to cover that now. Now for the go-to shots, you basically want to hold the right stick up to get to your go-to shot and to start that animation. And the main difference that you're gonna see with the go-to shots is that instead of usually going down up, what most people are used to for the rhythm shooting, you're actually gonna go up and obviously flick down once you see the cue is hit. It's not too difficult there for anybody, but it may take some adjusting too, so just work on that there as well. Now the next type of shots is going to be catch and shoot shots. These are pretty standard. Everybody knows what this is. It's just catching the ball and firing, and we're going to go over some things you can do to make that a little bit more efficient. And what the first thing that I stressed even in my previous shooting video in 2K24 is pay attention to where you catch the ball. If you catch it high, it's going to be most likely a quicker release because you're closer to your set point or your shot visual cue. If you catch it low, it's going to be a regular time and gather. But you want to pull the stick down only when you catch the ball. A lot of you guys may be pulling the stick down before you actually catch it, and that doesn't allow your timing to get any better or shoot the shot any better. It's just going to throw off your reaction to when the player actually releases, especially if he gets a bad catch. So make sure you hold it down after. But one technique that you can actually do to actually help yourself out in regards to getting better catches is holding L2 when you get towards the three-point line in anticipation of a catch. And this will actually let your player square up and hold his hands out and essentially minimize the chances of getting a bad catch. So for my career guys that like to play off ball, utilize this technique and this should help your chances of hitting shots more. But now the next type of shots we're going to go over are contested shots, which is the most popular one I gained among the community. So in regards to the contested shots, you obviously want to make sure you get space to start your gather before a defender contests. This is going to help you get a regular release, and which will help you essentially hit your contested shots a lot more instead of getting sped up or slowed down. Also, ignore the defender and focus on your cue. This was something that I heavily stressed in my shooting video in 24, which held out all throughout the year and will still regards to this day in terms of hitting contested shots. If you feel like you have created enough space, simply focus on your cue and obviously know the tempo of the person that you're using and use that same tempo. Do not switch it up. Do not panic. Do not freak out because you think a defender is there. Ignore that defender if you felt like you have created the proper amount of space, and you will be able to hit those shots. It is pretty much the same type of concept as last year with the contested shooting. It's just using the rhythm shooting obviously this year, which will give you a better chance of hitting your shot anyway. But now we want to go ahead and talk about the post shots. Post shots are also able to be used with the rhythm shooting as well, and any type of post shot can be utilized with the rhythm shooting. There isn't any type of shots that you can do previously that you are not able to access with the rhythm shooting, and it is pretty viable as well, as long as you know, like I said, the tempo of the person that you're using. So for any of my post scorers in the previous 2Ks that really like to get in their bag and felt like, you didn't want to use the rhythm shooting, trust me, it is viable and will help you this year. Definitely learn it and put it into your arsenal. Now, shimmy fades can be done by going up and down with the right stick, but they also can be done by going left to right. As you see in this example here, I did go up, down, and left, right to show you guys different shimmies, but either way, you're gonna flick back up with the right stick, matching the tempo of the person that you're using, and you'll go ahead and green that shot. So just get a little bit of practice in with each one of these types of shots, and they pretty much will become elementary for you. But also, you have post hop shots as well. You're gonna flick the right stick in the same direction twice to get that, and then same thing, flick up with the right stick there. And post pivot shots can also be done with rhythm shooting as well. Depending on which way you finish your pivot, you're just going to pull down on the stick, same as a regular shot, and go up with the same tempo. But now that we're done with the post, the next type of shots we can look at are the running fades. These are something that is very popular within the community, and a lot of people like to shoot these, and these can also be done with rhythm shooting. You just want to use R2 to sprint towards the area that you want to actually fade in, and briefly let go of R2 and immediately start your shot with the right stick and go up and match the tempo. Spin shots are also other shots you can also use with the right stick by rotating the right stick clockwise or counterclockwise fashion, just so that you can get the shot and then go up with the tempo of the player that you're using in order to finish off and green it there. Now the next type of shots that we want to talk about are the step backs. This is another popular one that everybody likes to use and can be very viable in situations in order to get space from your defender. With the step backs, the same thing. You're just going to hold R2 and you're going to pull the right stick down in order to get a step back animation, and then just flick the right stick up, matching the tempo of the person that you're using in order to green that shot there as well. And here are just a few more examples of me just doing the step back just to show you how to use it and how you can make it work with the rhythm shooting. Now, one of the last techniques that I wanted to give you guys that you could try is to match the pull down speed of the right stick with the tempo of the player that you're using. For example, Giannis is a person who has like mixed speeds with his shot. He pulls up with his shot very slowly, but his release is quicker. So you want to pull down on the right stick at the same speed as the flick of the tempo. Same thing with Westbrook. His is opposite. He has a quick pull up with his shot, but then his release is slow. So I'm matching the tempo by pulling the right stick down slowly and going up with the right stick slowly, as opposed to with Giannis, I was pulling the right stick down quickly and going up quickly. So this will help you get the tempo of your speeds easier. But I'm hoping that this rhythm shooting tutorial helped you guys out a lot. If you guys have any types of questions or anything that you think I might have missed, please let me know in the comment section and I will surely answer any questions. But I appreciate you guys for watching, and if you need to have any more follow-ups with me, you can also follow me on Twitter at E_NYC_97. But if you liked the video, share it and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.